Hello and welcome to the video. This video will be on a conventional deadlift, but if you want a sumo tutorial, let me know. The video will be split up into 4 parts. Each part will represent a different aspect of the deadlift. The 4 parts will be the setup, the technique, the equipment and the grip. There will be different stages in each of these sections to make it easier for you to follow and easier for you to understand, as it won't all just be a mush all about the deadlift, but there'll be an actual structure to the video. This is the final video in the squat, bench, deadlift guide. So now you have all 3 of these that you can use to help you. Now you know what the video is about, we can now begin with the deadlift. Let's start with the setup. This section has the sole goal of putting your body over the barbell to allow the greatest potential for weight lifted. Stage 1. Before you even begin the lift, make sure you have the right type of bar to ensure you can lift the most weight possible. You want a bar which is smooth in the middle so it doesn't scrape across your shins, or you want a bar with minimal knurling in the middle. You don't want to be using a squat bar, as these have a large amount of knurling in the middle as it needs to grip onto your back. If it does have a lot of knurling, it's likely to scrape across your shins and increase the friction, which makes the lift harder. This is one of the reasons why powerlifters use baby powder and long socks. It's that it reduces the friction in the lift. The type of bars you can use is a deadlift bar or a power bar, as these have little or no knurling in the middle. Stage 2. Approach the bar with a stance which you would do your max vertical jump in, as this will allow the best force production, as this is likely where you would feel the strongest. This should be roughly feet under the armpits, but this will differ person to person based on different structures. Stage 3. The barbell should be around 1 or 2 inches away from the shins when you're standing up. You want the barbell directly over your midfoot, as when you're doing your push-pull or just the deadlift, this will allow you to keep your center of gravity. Stage 4. Now that your feet are in the right position, take your first deep breath into the core by breathing through the nose. This is important as it increases the intra-abdominal pressure. This is just pressure throughout the torso, which helps you increase the stability of the lift. Stage 5. From here you want to bend over at the waist as if doing an SLDL or stiff leg deadlift. So don't let your knees bend when you're doing this. Once you reach the end of your range of motion, which is when your back starts to round, then bend your legs while keeping your chest up and while keeping long relaxed arms until you can reach the barbell. This will be your starting position. Stage 6. If you find your shins hit the barbell, repeat this process again, but with the bar a little bit further away from the shins when doing it. Stage 7. When looking from the side, the bar should be under where your armpit and tricep meet, so that when you pull the barbell, it does not go forward or back, but straight up, as this allows the most efficient deadlift. Stage 8. If you're using straps, you can put them on now, but try not to move the barbell too much when doing this. Stage 9. Tuck your lats down, take a final deep breath into the core so that your torso is as compact and braced as possible for when we go into the technique. That is the setup done. Now that you have your starting position, we can go over the lift itself, and now we'll start the technique. This section focuses on the lift from A to B. Now that you've gone through the whole setup, this bit should be easy once I give you a few additional cues. These are the 3 cues to use when deadlifting to make sure you can lift the most weight possible. Cue number 1, pull the slack out of the bar. What this means is basically getting the plates and barbell to connect together and make a clicking sound. This is very important for 2 main reasons. Reason number 1 is it allows a more explosive pull off the ground. If you watch Jamal Browner, who is pretty much the best deadlifter in the world right now, and probably the best at getting the weight off the ground, as he pulls the slack out the bar very well. I'll show you a clip of him doing 410 kilos for 4 reps.
Yeah.
The second reason as to why pulling the slack out the bar is important is it helps to prevent injury. As you're not going from 0 to 100 but are going from 25 to 100%, making it a lot safer. So to pull the slack out the bar, just do how you would normally deadlift, but just at like 20% until you hear the little click sound of the barbell hitting the plates. A good analogy is you're winding up the machine so you can pull with more power, as it's already preloaded. Cue number 2, push your legs into the ground as if pushing the world away. The deadlift is not only a pull movement, it is also equally a push movement. This is because you use your quads to push into the ground and your glutes, hamstrings and spinal erectors to pull it off the ground. In order to lift the most weight, you need to be pushing and pulling. A good cue to do this is pushing your feet into the ground as if pushing the world away, or imagine you're doing a leg press. Both achieve the same goal. Cue number 3, pulling the pinkies into your body as if breaking the bar. The reason this is useful is it engages the lats and the upper back muscles, allowing for more stability. It also forces internal rotation, which allows for a more rigid and safer deadlift. Once you do all 3 of these, pull the bar up to your knees while keeping your back at a relatively constant angle. Once the bar reaches your knees, pull with your hamstrings and glutes and lower backs, push the hips through to lock out the lift. That is the technique of the deadlift. We'll now go over the equipment. All the equipment you'll need to do the deadlift will be linked below in the description. All of these will increase the weight on the bar. Equipment number 1, straps. There are 2 different types of straps that you can use for the deadlift, figure 8 straps or wrist straps. Figure 8 straps will help to decrease the range of motion as the bar can sit lower down on the fingers. So the barbell has to travel less range of motion for you to lock out. Wrist straps just wrap around the barbell and supports your grip. So it will not decrease the range of motion, but it will help obviously grip the bar. I'll link figure 8 strap and wrist straps below. Equipment number 2, the belt. The belt will help with stability throughout the torso and core by increasing the intra-abdominal pressure, as we talked about earlier. A belt can increase your weight on the bar up to 10% if you know how to use the belt properly. I'll link the SBD belt below if you want to have a look at it. Equipment number 4, flat sole shoes. When you're deadlifting, you need to be lifting in flat shoes as you need all the contact with the floor as possible. You don't want to be deadlifting with Nike Air Maxes as they're cushioned and will reduce your force output into the ground. I'll link the advanced shoes below, which are around £70. Equipment number 5, chalk. Chalk can get rid of all the excess moisture in your hands, which can allow for better grip on the bar. That's all the main equipment in the deadlift that you'll need. All of these will be linked below in the description if you want to have a look at that. Section 4 in this video is grip. There are 2 main grips to use if you're not using straps. One is called the hook grip and the other is called the mixed grip. We'll begin with the hook grip. To do the hook grip, you turn your pinkies out so your palms are facing the plates. Jam the webbing between your thumb and your first finger into the bar. Wrap the thumb underneath the bar at a 45 degrees angle towards the middle of the bar. Then wrap your first finger and middle finger around the thumb as hard as possible. The first finger should be on the knuckle and the second finger should be on the nail of the thumb. Wrap all the other fingers around the bar. The advantages of hook grip: it is a very strong grip and possibly safer for when you're lifting. The disadvantages: it can cause the thumb to hurt a bit and it requires some practicing to get used to. To do mixed grip, one hand will be underneath and one hand will be over the bar. Grip it as tight as possible and try and make as much tension between you and the bar as possible. The advantages: it's easier to learn and doesn't hurt the thumbs. The disadvantages is probably less grip strength, may cause you to windmill. In other words, the barbell will go side to side and more likely to cause an injury such as a bicep tear. Overall, I'd recommend hook grip as it's probably the most safe, and if you can nail the technique, can lead to a better grip anyway. That's the whole deadlift guide covered there. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments what other videos you would want me to make and I'll make them as soon as possible. See you in the next video.